Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I forget that a lot of people don't go to American colleges, maybe don't go to college, period. And so when I discuss or think about what happens in my own life, it might actually be interesting to people because this is just a different way to live. Being a college professor is the most rewarding job I've ever had and probably will ever have, but it is different. And sometimes when you're debating syntax with other professors, they will say things like, an exclamation mark. That is so trashy. I would never use exclamation marks in a formal email. Because emails kind of used to be sort of like you're writing a founding father for the Constitution or something. But now they're very casual. Even in academia, you can like them, you can thumbs them up, you can treat them as if you would any other text. So when I talked about arcade in the context of being excited for arcade, I thought for sure they were going to tone it down. They didn't. They said, we are a family-friendly game who's going to use an exclamation mark after the phrase, "Welcome to Arcade's Murder World." And if you came here thinking that there'd be some classic Prof. Hoff rant that you roll your eyes to because I'm overreacting to something that's not a big deal, sorry, this ain't the video for you. I think this is amazing. This is like what you'd see if the game wasn't family friendly. It reminds me of the difference between the X-Men 97 show I grew up with and the one I just watched on Disney Plus, and I think it's the highest rated Disney Plus show ever. But it was dark. If you watched it and you were not familiar with the comic book storylines like I was not, it was hard to watch at times. So I want you all to know that some people might disagree with this video. Some people might be offended by this. If you don't want your kids to think about what Arcade's Murder World is, then you probably should not have them play the game in June, ? Also keep in mind that I have this goal, this hope, that we see more of this. Yes, I think this is amazing. KABAM did not give in. Kudos, KABAM. You could have called it Welcome to Arcade's Challenge Arena. Welcome to Arcade's Obstacle Course. But to be fair to and loyal to the guy in the comics, you gotta use the comic book lore. But that's not something we've really seen before. And there's a big debate. I used to say, that guy just died. And everybody would be like, oh, no, he didn't die. He just got knocked out. He's going to come back. You know, that's why Realm of Legends Winter Soldier has more lives than Doctor Strange versus Dormammu. He just comes to bargain every day and will never, ever, ever stop the endless loop. That is his curse. Whoever decided that the first enemy in Realm of Legends would be Winter Soldier made one of the most important decisions in the history of the game, and I don't think we talk about that enough, and I'm so tired right now that I'm deliriously excited to talk about that choice from a designer, and I think that means that I'm going crazy. But I'm crazy with excitement, because arcade, as I talked about in a previous video, this was how I discovered the arcade Murder World in a Super Nintendo game from like 1992. And it was hard. And there were a lot of screams. If you want to look up Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge YouTube footage, I welcome you. It is kind of creepy. It is not a game for kids. Just like I don't think next month. Last time I felt this much was when Emma Frost helped a bunch of teenage boys get to puberty faster when she was the front page of the game, the loading screen. That was quite the provocative image. And I'm sure those images somehow still exist if you are brave enough to look up MCOC Emma Frost. But point being, I think with most adults play this game. Kids, maybe there can be a content warning. That's all you need legally, right? Just say, hey, this month there's going to be some sensitive titles and stuff. But I think this is great. I think this is exactly what we need. A retro arcade, a Murder World arcade. Like, I can see Guillotine. I love arcades. I couldn't afford them as kids, so we got to go like once every couple years, and we get free tokens and buy one, get one free pizza at a place called Mr. Gaddy's in the New Braunfels, Texas area, which is between San Antonio and Austin. And they don't even have one anymore. But it was like the greatest time ever because in the 1990s, the NBA was on NBC and they played huge projector NBA games while we ate pizza and played tokens. In the 1990s, the world still felt like it was safe and there was a lot of optimism. And I'm sure everybody feels like that way to a certain extent. But the 90s also had like really cool, it was like the last peak of arcades. Anyhow, I've ranted about this long enough. KABAM, I've never been more excited for something. You did really well. And I know there are people who don't watch these videos because they see a positive title and they think, that's not something I'm going to click on. But for those of you who did, kudos to KABAM. More of this. Thank you.